Namaste guys, ChristianRLong, Life Enhancement Consulting, giving you a big and beautiful shout out on this Sunday evening. Wow, the weekend went by so fast here in Denver, Colorado. It is 6 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. We are jumping on for our daily dose of growth, challenges designed to grow your soul and help you become a better person. Tina, Namaste, welcome. Good to have you on as always. I'm sure Elena is right next to you, glued at the hip. Connected at the hip, merged at the hip. Mother and daughter are one. Well, half of you, right? So we're jumping on for our 54th challenge. The 54th challenge, which this is exciting. I mean, we got 6 more challenges. Well, right? 6 more challenges until we hit 60. Then we're done with our segment of challenges. Christy, Namaste for the next thing that we're going to be doing. So that's going to be super, super exciting. So what was challenge today? Challenge 54 was assigned this morning at 8 o'clock a.m. Yes, I did see that you sent a message, but I did not read that message, Tina. So I will check it. Denise, Namaste. And this was a cool challenge. There's a lot of nuggets within this challenge. So what was the challenge? For those of you log in for the first time, you say, I did it, I didn't do it, we did it, we didn't do it, I didn't complete it. Christy, that's okay. No judgment whatsoever, but I appreciate you taking responsibility and accountability for not doing the challenge. Just all that in a bag of chips. Now you have awareness. Instead of blaming and finger pointing and I didn't have time, I didn't have this, I didn't have that, right? Nobody cares. No one's interested. All we care about is, did you do it, not do it? If you did it, what did you learn? If you didn't do it, what did you learn? Tina says it's just a lot to text and post here. Yeah, I get it. Not a problem. Not a problem. So what was the challenge? Amanda, Namaste. What was the challenge? The challenge was to come up with the name of a movie. So you're directing an entire movie. You are the director. So you come up with the name of the movie, the plot of the movie, the genre of movie, right? So romance, comedy, what do they call it? Rom-coms, drama, horror, thriller, psychological thriller. You come up with where it's going to be filmed, the different locations or location. Natalie, Namaste. And who are the main actors going to be, right? That was the challenge. So you're basically you're creating a movie, directing a movie, right? And so for those of you who did the challenge, what was your experience of doing the challenge? Now, you don't have to put in all the details. Like Tina was saying, the name of the movie was this, where we're filming it is this, Andrew, Namaste, etc., 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 just to get a general idea of what was your experience doing today's challenge number 54. Challenge number 54. Didn't do it. Thank you, Andrew, for taking ownership. I appreciate that. Okay. What was your experience and feedback from doing the challenge or not doing the challenge? Obviously, by doing the challenge, you're going to have feedback that one who doesn't do the challenge would not have feedback for. I went to school. Natalie, Namaste. I'm glad you are admitting you didn't do it. Thank you for taking ownership and responsibility. I remember going to school. I was this was most of my entire schooling career. But it was people who were teaching me something that they had never experienced directly. So it was people teaching me about business who never owned a business. Julia, Namaste. It was people teaching me about social studies who had never traveled. It was people teaching me about English who had never written a book or who had never entered contests for poetry, right? So it was people teaching things that was entirely based on theory, none of it based on practical. So that's why these challenges that we have every single day, today is the 54th challenge, every single day, it's identifying a practical skill set that we get the challenge, we apply the challenge, and then we get feedback. With feedback, you know what to tweak, what to increase, what to decrease, what to change, right? What to modify. But for people that are entirely in their heads, are in fantasy land, if you will, they can't give you, they might have accurate perception, but we'll never know if they have correct expression. So accurate perception is seeing something clearly, seeing something as it is, and correct expression is fulfilling that viewpoint of the accurate perception. So for instance, Nikola Tesla, a great genius, a giant forehead chakra, he was able to create things in the inner world, in his mind, in his imagination, and he was able to see it in such detail that he could tweak this, he could tweak that, tweak this, tweak that, change, modify, whatever in the inner world, in his imagination. And then so when he invented it in the physical world, it worked the first time because he already solved it in the energy world and the imagination world, right? So that's pretty amazing, but very, very few of us can do that. So his theory was very accurate to the practical world. Most people's theories about business, theories about how to become great at this, how to become great at that, right? Some of you may remember my example of I had a theory through all my studying about exercise and nutrition that I could put on 20 pounds of lean body mass in 8 to 10 weeks. That 8 to 10 weeks turned into 14 months. So my theory sounded good, warm and fuzzy, but the practicality was not, they didn't meet up. So my perception was inaccurate, therefore my expression was incorrect. Make sense? So let's see. Tina says, I thought it was going to be hard, but it came quick for me this time. Ooh, what's up, smoking? So Christy's title of her movie, Invisible. It's a documentary about kids in foster care, kids as actors. I like that. Got to the thinking of it part, enjoyed that part. Can't give feedback on any other part. Not a problem. So we don't know where we're going to do the filming. We don't know who the kid actors are going to be. Is that my understanding? But so far you got the name, you got the genre, you got what the plot's going to be, but we don't quite know who the actors are and where you're going to be doing the filming. Is that my understanding? Okay. Good. Good. This was a very, very interesting challenge. A lot of people are traveling right now. A lot of people are having family and friends for this weekend and probably next weekend, right? So less people are on this live stream than typically, which is all that in a bag of chips, right? Was going to use actual foster care kids. Ah, okay. Yeah, they wouldn't be acting, would they? Right? They would be coming from a very genuine place. I remember growing up as a kid because my father and my two older brothers were much, much older than me. My second oldest brother is 10 years older than me, and my oldest brother is 11 years older than me. And my father was much, much older, so I was had later in life. So I would model what my father and what my older brothers were doing. So they would watch documentaries as teenagers in their early 20s. So I would watch documentaries as an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13-year-old. And I watched documentaries for most of my life because I was always wanting to learn, no. I wanted to understand the world at large. And something the past few years, I've stopped watching documentaries because there seems to be, my experience has been, a bend. There's an agenda, there's a biases in documentaries that I've noticed maybe the past 10 years. And I'm watching a documentary not to get biases, I'm watching a documentary to get understanding. Give me the facts as clear as you know them. Don't bend, don't manipulate me emotionally. Don't give me only one or two viewpoints. Give me all the facts, all the statistics, as unbiased as possible, and then let me make my own conclusion. But I've noticed a lot of documentaries are pushing one way or the other. Like, for instance, there's nutrition documentaries that are very bent towards one way, right? Then there'll be another documentary that will come out that will counter-indicate what that documentary is talking about. Or you'll have documentaries on oil. You'll have documentaries on weapons. You'll have documentaries on the environment. These different things. Lori, I'm a mistake, and they're all over the place. They're all over the place, and you can sense, you can feel, you can experience with looking at it energetically, feeling it energetically. Of like, there's a biases in this documentary, and it's like, don't give me a bias. Just give me the facts, figures, and let me make up my own mind. I'm an adult. Right? Your job as the documentarian is to document, not to push, not to persuade, not to manipulate people emotionally. By the way, if you want people to do something, either instill fear in them or make them angry. Right? That's how you manipulate people. That's how people have been manipulated for eons of time. Make them angry or make them fearful, and they'll do what you want them to do. Right? So that's one reason as why I stopped watching documentaries the past maybe 7 or 8 years. I've obviously watched a few here and there, but it's just that energy. So, our challenge connected to directing your own movie is connected to which chakra? Which chakra or energy center within your body deals with directing? The Ajna chakra. So in between your eyebrows is the Ajna chakra. This chakra is known as the master chakra. Why is it known as the master chakra? Because it controls and regulates the prana or energy of the chakras below it. So if this is powerful and strong, it has a strong grip over the other chakras doing or not doing something. Does that make sense? So what does a director do on a movie set? A director directs people, directs resources, directs time, right? Basically, people and resources is what a director does. So the director says, okay, we need these actors, right? The casting director finds the right actors and then casts them in their different roles. And then where's the money going to go? We're going to use it to travel to this location. We're going to use it for this marketing. We're going to use, right? So the director is directing people and directing resources, right? So the Ajna chakra deals with directing. So one reason why a lot of us, how to put this? The reason why a lot of us have our lives in disarray and are disorganized is because we are not activating the directing center within us. So it's kind of like if you have a kid with a bunch of children, we're talking about foster children. So if you have a house with a bunch of children and there's no supervision, what happens? The kids just run wild and do whatever they do. It's the same way with our energy body. So the chakras are like children. The lower chakras are like the children. And then the higher soul is the parent that supervises, that guides, that directs. So the Ajna chakra is connected to your higher soul. Lori says she did it, that a girl. So this is super, super important because if you aren't directing your chakras, somebody else is. Did you guys catch that? If you are not directing your own chakras, somebody else is. So there's a saying in business that if you don't have a dream, you'll be working for someone else's. If you don't have a dream, you'll be working for someone else's, right? So all the people out there that are employees of a company, whether it's a startup or a Fortune 500 company, Fortune 50 company, that was built by someone else's ajna who could direct people and resources to make that business a success. And you are part of their vision, part of their dream, which is not a negative thing. It just is what it is, right? As you start your own business and you start guiding your chakras to doing something that you want to create and bring into the world, your ajna has to become engaged to control and regulate the energy flow of the chakras below it. Does that make sense? And as you bring on new employees into your business venture, what has to happen? Your ajna has to become stronger and bigger to do what? Control or direct the chakras of the other people within your organization. And this happens in a family unit, this happens in the military, this happens in business, this happens in nonprofits and charities and churches and spiritual organizations. It's the dynamic of life. But something very, very important to recognize, when you are working for the right person or with the right people, your ajna becomes bigger. It becomes empowered. When you're working for the wrong person or a person who is taking advantage of you, your ajna becomes smaller and you become disempowered. Right? Anyone work for a tyrant boss? Anyone in a relationship where it's a lot of codependency and maybe mental, verbal, and even physical abuse? That's an example of someone's chakra, ajna chakra, trying to control the ajna chakra of somebody else. Right? So Grandmaster Cho Kokusui says a cult, You have a leader, and that leader's ajna chakra plugs in to the ajna chakras of the followers and siphons or sucks energy from their ajnas, empowering the leader and disempowering the followers. That's how you know it's a cult. You scan the ajna chakra of the leader, you scan or feel the energy of the ajna chakra of the followers, and that will be your indicator. If the followers' ajna gets very small by being in that organization, it's a cult. If the ajna chakra of the participants or followers becomes bigger, then that teacher, that leader, that facilitator is empowering those people. Does that make sense? So again, going back to our example of today's challenge, challenge number 54, directing a movie. As a director, you're directing people and you're directing resources. You're directing people to do what you want them to do to make the movie a success. And then you have to direct the resources to make sure this actor gets paid the right amount, this marketing budget goes to these marketing channels, these promotional channels, all the licensing, all those things. It's ajna and chakra. So Steven Spielberg or James Cameron, some of the biggest directors of all time, huge ajna chakras, because what are they doing? They're directing a huge number of people, not just actors, but everyone that's part of it, and they're directing hundreds of millions of dollars and resources to make it all work, to make it all happen. So it's quite fascinating. So almost every director has a developed chakra. You cannot be a director, you cannot be a film producer, more so a director, film director, if you don't have a big ajna chakra, right? Because people are not going to what? Listen to you. They're not going to do what you tell them to do with the resources. They're not going to do what you tell them to do with their lines. But it's also not just about controlling and manipulating other people's energy. It's also about doing it with a loving heart, right? If you are a director and you have an actor and you're directing that actor to do his lines in this way and do it over and over and over again, and you're very militaristic about it, and you're very will, what's going to happen to that actor? He's going to withdraw. He's going to quit. He's going to, be very, very difficult to deal with. So you have to use will, but you also have to use love, right? Because love is the harmonizing factor, the pink energy to soothe any misunderstandings, to soothe any wounds or hurt or pains or what have you, right? So it's quite fascinating. So when you direct people and direct resources, it's a function of the will, it's a function of the ajna chakra. Fascinating, right? So the more responsibility you take on, the more resources you take on, and the more people you take on, your ajna chakra is having to be stretched to be bigger, to have more energy, to fulfill that higher energy demand. Make sense? So I'm super proud of you guys who did the challenge. I'm proud of you who are on tonight's challenge taking notes. Hopefully you're taking notes. Jeanette, namaste. Hopefully you're taking notes in your energy, your, what's the word I'm looking for? Your challenge journal, right? Challenge number 54, make my own movie. This was my awareness before, during, and after. Awesome. Okay. Do you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns, clarifications about today's challenge, about anything that we talked about connected to the ajna chakra, the master chakra, the chakra that directs, regulates, and controls the prana of the lower chakras? Anything at all? I'll give it a minute because I know there's always a lag time. I just got back from the grocery store. My groceries are right over there on the counter, patiently waiting to be put away in their appropriate spots. And also for those of you who are looking for transformation, looking for healing, looking to have less stress, looking to have more energy, looking to have more clarity in some area of your life, feel free to reach out to me directly on my website, ChristianRLong.com. It's my name, ChristianRLong.com. Super, super easy. You'll have all the details you need about who I am, how I can help you, what pranic healing is, how pranic healing can help you, and I look forward to serving you over there. Anything else? And then tomorrow we'll be doing our online challenge again. This will be challenge number 55 at 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time, 8 o'clock a.m. Mountain Time. And then 8:30 a.m. Mountain Time, we'll be doing our Twin Hearts meditation. So I look forward to serving you there. Look forward to connecting with you there. And any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, and I will talk to you soon. This is Christian Long, Life Enhancement Consultant, wishing you a beautiful weekend, a beautiful upcoming week, and a beautiful life. Atma, Namaste. Bye-bye. Oh, wrong button.